Hey. Welcome, everyone. I'm Chill10974 coming to you live from a new location. Doing something a little bit different. Um, well, it's still chilling on the couch, part two. Just a different couch this time. I know. So, everyone, just wanted to pop that in. It's a little bit different than my normal intro that you normally see because I'm using a direct approach. Camera's also a little bit different, so again, I'm going to apologize. So that the audio you're going to be hearing is basically coming from the regular mic that I'm using right now. Hey, I got Zach in the chat. What's up, Zach? What are you up to, buddy? Anything good? Hey, I got Dr. Ghost in here. What's up, Ghost? I hope you're feeling better, buddy. Stop being sick. So tonight we just, like I said, this is one of those segments that just going to sit here and chill out and relax. You doing ETS too? Nice. Well, I hope you feel better, Ghost. I really do. There we go. A little bit different. I'm going to apologize for the camera quality. It's not as good as it normally is because I'm actually using my laptop at the moment and doing something a little bit on the different side. So let me explain what Chilling on the Couch is all about. Basically, this is a chat driven discussion. So you guys come up with topics within reason, of course. Hopefully, I'll be able to talk about them and basically just have just a good old fashioned chilling conversation and just do our thing. That's what this whole thing is. That's what this whole segment is about. So there'll be no game playing or anything like that. And I apologize if it just seems a little on the boring side, but it is something. It's kind of a way to make sure that I'm communing with my chat and and my subscribers and stuff like that. So it's kind of like my little my little thing. Excuse me. So, without further ado, the floor is yours, guys. What would you like to talk about? What would you like to chill and chat on the couch? I'll wait right here and drink my orange soda. Now, one of the other things that definitely can do with this too, if someone wants to join in live and what have you, I can invite people into the studio, so to speak. So this function here going directly through Restream gives me a little more flexibility in regards to bringing people on board if I really need to. So it is what it is, there, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, he did. That was with the high cross check. Now we're going to see what's going to happen to um, excuse me. We're going to have to see what's going to happen after that other little bit of that little bit of incident with Marshan. Hey, Wolfie, welcome. Welcome to the Chill Zone. If you want to talk history, Wolfie, that's perfectly fine. All right, just start a little NHL talk. Yeah, Boston is basically every other day now, so it's gonna get really interesting. But I still want to know. I want to. I still. Ooh. Still want to see what's going to happen if they're going to go after Marchand for literally turning around and beating the bejesus out of somebody for hitting a supposed late hit on Bergeron. So we'll see what happens there. Indianapolis. Indianapolis. If you want. There we go. There. Comments can show up right there. Boop, 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 boop. See if I can do this to work. Technical difficulties, as always. Yeah, give me 1 second there. See if I get this to. Hold on. Yeah. Oh, I did not want to do that. Okie dokie, let's see. Un momento, por favor. Hey, Gan, what's up, dude? Right. Hold on. Wolf, if you click that link, that I'm going to pop in there. There you go. Just want to pop in. Just click right there. Ugh. We don't know yet. We're just playing by ear. That's what we want to do. It's kind of like a potpourri. Hopefully this looks good. It's kind of I've used months before and worked out okay the last time. So yeah, it's one of those. Fire away. You've got the floor, my dude. Send it. You can add whatever you like there, buddy. Yeah. All right, turn that up. How long was the RMS Titanic?
887 feet long.
She, I believe, 882. Would you look it up, Zach? All right. There you go. You should be live, Wolf.
Hi.
All right. Can you hear him? 882 and 9 inches.
Testing.
Yep, it looks like you're broadcast. It looks like you're coming over.
I'm not streaming at the moment, no.
No, it looks like you're coming over mine, so.
Yeah, and I can hear you. Just need to make sure chat can hear you.
The other interesting thing about Titanic, though, she sank. I know, Joe.
Yeah, but it still took 2 hours to fucking sink her.
It was a slow motion tragedy. It was one of those.
I'm sitting here fucking reading chat. Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to actually start working my magic with this more often now.
Actually, she did hit the iceberg. You have to look at it this way. She did hit the iceberg. I don't think that there was
11:30 a.m. is whenever she struck the ice. It was about
PM.
a quarter to midnight whenever she finally struck the iceberg.
Mm-hmm. So she ended up. It was one of those hits. It wasn't like she probably could have. They said that she possibly could have survived had she impacted the iceberg
Ghost,
directly.
I would strongly rethink saying that because the Olympic actually managed to survive.
That's true.
God
Ghost.
forbid.
That is true. That is actually really. I know it's kind of like you saying with some jest, but you're kind of right. They had I don't know what it was. White Star just had problems. They go in. They plan a
Dude,
four.
the twin.
They plan a 4-ship class, the Olympic class. They end up building 3. 2 are sunk, and the other one didn't even bother. I don't know if it'll be 100%, but it could have been possible. Hey,
What the
Exaflex,
fuck happened with Extra? What the fuck happened with Exaflex's goddamn profile picture? What
He's
happened?
a Dev Strike.
I know exactly what that is. Oh yeah, it's probably because I'm not seeing the SCS along with that, so alternate account.
Olympic and Britannic, Dan. Olympic's ahead of the class, and Britannic was the last of the 3 that was built. Only the Olympics survived to have a
Hence why they're called the Three Sister Ships. Hence why they're called the Three Sister Ships, Dan. Oh yeah, oh yeah, that's right. Xbox doesn't have a wrench on this account. Oops.
That's okay. Everything's being patrolled by Dr. Ghost. Dr. Ghost is on patrol. And Gan's having a commercial break.
Go.
That laugh, please stop.
Okay, fine.
Oh.
How about, okay, I'll agree with Ghost on this. Exaflex, shut up.
Don't have a heart attack, Ghost. I can't do CPR and remote control.
Okay, give me 1 second here.
Now, I'll ask if anybody else wants to come in, they can. And we can have a nice, interesting little chat. Hey, Bismarck, what's up, dude?
Hey, Bismarck.
Does anybody else want to join this and we can have just a general discussion about almost anything? That's what the whole beauty of this particular stream is about. So, congratulations, Zach. Exaflex, if you lost any more memory, you'd be a talking monkey.
He's a talking monkey. We're all talking monkeys.
No worries, Ghost.
Oh, shut up, Exaflex.
Oh, that sucks, Bismarck. Double whammy? Oh, dude, that sucks. Ghost? Whole house is sick?
Oh. Yeah, I saw that post, Ghost. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, my kid brought home last week. He brought home something. I ended up getting sick.
Okay.
Drove all the way.
Hold on a second.
Drove
I'm
all
gonna
the way
mute
to
my
work
mic.
just to
I'll be
throw
right
up.
back.
All right, buddy. Dude. I mean, come on. It's an East Coast. It's a Massachusetts accent. Be more specific. It's a Boston accent. They say, "Dude." Yeah, that's what my son did. He brought something home. He nicely shared it with me. Yeah, Monday morning I drove to work just in time to get out of my car and start throwing up in the parking lot. Dude. You're not letting that go, are you? Okay.
Okay. Hey, Chris, I'm gonna have to
Yes.
jump back in. I'm having issues getting this thing back in my headset.
All right. Don't worry. So you back out,
Okay,
come back
be
in.
right back.
All right, cool. Hey, you know what? If we're gonna stream, might as well be comfortable doing it, bro. And Ghost is watching a Western show on Netflix. Cool. So nice computer. Just a good old laptop. Called Godless. Huh. The reflection in my glasses. Well, yeah, I have. See, I could take these off, but then I can't read anything. No Chromebook. I am not using a Chromebook. I refuse to buy a Chromebook. This is an HP. Yeah, I hate Microsoft, but I think I hate Google a little bit more, so I bought this thing so I could use it at work. Yeah, and they're not even good at that. Hmm. Are you the type of person who falls going up the stairs or down the stairs? Or for Bismarck's sake, both? Oh, Jesus, Sexaflex. You were dropped way too many times as a baby, weren't you? On your head. I don't have any gait issues, Exaflex. I don't fall going up or down the stairs. Actually, if we really want to go back to the OG of falling down shit, Gerald R. Ford. He fell down the stairs of Air Force One. That's what he did. Yeah, that's a gravity issue. Yeah, falling upstairs is clumsy. The only time I think I've had that problem is when I've actually was imbibing a little too much. You're hauling a train undercarriage from Luxembourg to Spain? Cool. Hope they're paying you some good cake for that. Yeah. All right. Gotta move some stuff around here. Put that over there. There we go. China. 800K. Oh, yeah. Could you a wizard, Zach? Nice. Oh, man. Oh. China. Very good. Very good, good. So, yeah, true, Ghost. Which is better? Wii Sports or Wii? What the fuck? Huh? Clarify, Exaflex. I can't read that. You're talking about Wii Sports? Okay. I'm glad Ghost speaks Exaflex because I looked at that and went, huh? Honestly, I haven't seen a Wii in like 10 years, so. Oh. The Wii was his childhood. All right.
Okay. Now, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Fucking technical difficulties, I swear to God.
Well, here I am trying to do this type of thing, and I'm trying to learn how to use this whole Restream Studio.
Well, you got the nice thing of a computer. I got a piece of shit Android.
It is what it is.
I know. But again, you got a computer. I got a piece of shit Android.
Ghost, you are absolutely correct. Because you can go back and watch all those videos on YouTube about people throwing their Wii controllers through their television sets. It's hilarious.
And I thought we told you to not be annoying, Exaflex.
Easy. All right. Well, yeah, it's Nintendo. They make Nintendo music.
It's actually not that bad.
You've thrown a controller through your television?
Hop on in here again. Go for it. As long as you have Restream.
Hold on.
yeah, shit massively went downhill after the Wii. It's weird. I played on the Wii for actually a long time before I finally got the PlayStation that I had, and
Just use that link.
yeah. I still think you have to set up the account too, Chris.
Well, you can do it, but the link is there.
No, like I said, I believe you still have to set up the account. And see how I was telling you about the avatar?
Yeah, I know. I was playing Wii bowling with my grandfather, and I didn't tighten the straps enough, and it flung right through our flat screen. Round of applause for Dr. Ghost.
Oh, poor Ghost. God damn. And that's why we usually put duct tape around the straps so we don't have that. Oh my god.
We
Oh, Jesus Christ.
go again. All right.
It still happens to the best of us, Ghost. I almost did that, but thank God
I was like,
I had almost done something similar.
good job, Zach. Round of applause. Put in chat. Awesome.
I can't put anything in chat because I'm here in the stream, and it won't let me type in your chat here on our stream. Like I said, I'm just saying.
Oh, there he is. And there's Gan the man. Let's bring him in.
Gang.
Hey, Gan, welcome, buddy.
Again.
Hey, Gan.
Dan, you here? Dan, you here, buddy?
Hello, Gan. Try it again.
You know what? I'm not going to do that. Never mind.
Hey, Alex, welcome, buddy.
Hey, Alex. I'm thankful.
Are we trying this again?
I'm very fucking thankful that you guys are in my headset and not out loud to everybody. This conversation going on in the other room is not for Stream's ears.
Oh, it's okay.
Phone crash.
There, the link is right there again, buddy, if you need it. Give it a try. I didn't turn my camera off.
Am I really the only one without an alternate account on YouTube right now?
You're just not cool enough.
I don't run alt accounts. I don't like to. If I'm gonna pop into a chat, I'm gonna pop in with my own name.
It can be. You see, Restream allows me to bring up to 10 people onto a stream. So you can do a with or without. So I can literally bring people in on this.
You can, Ghost.
Watch this. So I can mute people right off that. There's a toggle switch. And he comes back on.
Hey, bring me back. Hey, and then you can also do this. Since I don't have my camera going at the moment, all you have to do is click the camera, and then show up his camera. But, well, my face doesn't get shown. You know what? You know what? In my entire history of playing fucking World of Warships Legends, I've only been detonated twice, Ghost.
Wolf got detonated. I went from no detonations to 4.
It's okay. Now, here's the thing. My first donation, or not donation, but detonation on Legends
All right.
was actually in my Koenig.
Hold on here.
There we go.
Finally.
We got Dan.
Hello.
And now we have.
All
That
right,
X-
Dan's in here.
Oh, hey,
Exaflex in here.
Exaflex.
What's up, Wolf?
Welcome to the stream.
What's up, Gam?
So everybody is now. We got
Yeah.
everybody is in here. So now that we have looks like a little bit of a forum or a quorum going on in here, what do we want to talk about?
IDK.
Pick a subject. We'll try to run off. We'll run off of it. At this point, I don't care.
You already know what I'm gonna say.
Well, then
Titanic?
go.
Yep.
Go ahead, Gan.
Actually, one sec. Let me get something. There's something I actually want to show.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. Never mind. How you doing, Xplex?
Good.
Hold on. Can I
Nice
show
to hear.
something? real fast?
Yeah, go ahead.
Doing good.
Didn't play well last. Penguins kind of suck. No flashing. No flashing. Okay.
Where's my room?
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we just saw Gan.
Is it working
It's
now?
on.
Yes. Okay.
There we go. Hey, again.
Okay. Hello.
Hey, Gan.
I came to show this. I 3D printed it.
Oh,
God
nice.
damn. Nice.
Oh, how do you get this?
Damn.
There we go. I just wanted to show that because I designed it and then 3D printed it.
Yeah, it's
We're good on
Gan.
the
Go.
front of the road. Yeah. Freaking, that's great.
It looks really cool, bro.
Do you have your own 3D printer, Dan?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Computer audio's being wonky.
Do you have your own 3D printer?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah, I have a Prism Mini.
Damn. Okay, since we are on the, well, we might as well start this off with the subject as Titanic, because Dan suggested it. Or Dan's the one who wants it. Well, let's hear your bit of information on this, Dan.
Well, again, I'm so sorry this is being wonky.
No,
You're entirely fine.
you've got the floor, bro. It's all you. Go.
Oh, never mind. I thought this was gonna be different. Oh, well, I just had a couple questions because, currently I'm trying to start, like we're
Isn't that what we...
and it's Titanic at school, and I've been studying the ship for like 6 years now.
Okay.
I know I'm such a nerd. Oh,
No.
Hey. It's going on my 8-year mark on the ship, so...
I'm laughing at what Ghost is putting in the chat. He goes, "I got a 2D printer."
Yeah,
So-
we call it, yeah.
What happened to Exaflex?
I guess he left. Anyway, so I'll ask you this. I'll steer some questions in this direction here because this be good. So you've been studying this ship now, just like I said, you've been studying this ship for about 6 years now.
Yes.
So outside of the stuff, you hit the disappearing act. Roger that. So what? So outside of the stuff that's normally mainstream, what people would normally know about the ship and the sinking and everything else, what were there any facts or anything interesting nuggets that you've picked up in studying this that people may not necessarily know?
Well, I know a lot of like random stuff, but I don't know exactly the stuff that people wouldn't already know.
Hit us with it, Ian. Me and you, no offense.
I'm sorry,
No
getting
offense.
nervous, like all this like analysis is different on this than next week's. Sorry.
Well, Chris is the only one streaming at the moment, so.
Well, one thing, I don't know if this is mainstream or not. The rear funnel on the ship never functioned. It was just a dummy funnel. It was just used for ventilation, and the only working fireplace on the ship ventilated through it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Actually,
if I remember.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Chris. No, go ahead.
One of the interesting things that, because I can actually pull off of what Gan was saying, a lot of, at the time, you're looking, the reason why the whole idea that Bruce Ismay wanted to build those ships, it's obviously, they wanted to do a large portion of, they want to take a large portion of the transatlantic away from Cunard and move a lot of these patients. 1D printer? Yeah, what is it, broken? The 2D got broke.
How low are these printers going to go?
Half D printer out. One of the things that they do, what they did, is base size and whatever to convey size and things. Is they would add dummy funnels to the ship. So obviously, you have a 3-funnel ship. It doesn't look as big if you have a 4-funnel ship.
Well,
so it's
okay.
it's actually it's actually an illusion. A half-size Dollar Tree printer. Yeah, the Dollar Tree printer is one just right above Goodwill. And Goodwill's right above. I found it in the fucking trash.
To be fair, there are some good stuff in the Goodwill.
That's why I said it's still a step above the trash.
Now, regarding the type of illusion thing, to be fair and completely honest, yes, you are correct in that matter, Chris, but at the same time, you kind of have to have the ventilation at some point, so that 4th funnel was probably planned without it being added into an illusion.
It was planned from the beginning.
Yeah.
I understand this, but again.
Yeah, it was something that was planned, but usually there was other ways that they would there's other ways that they use for ventilation, because you had the different types of ventilation. You had the forced air, the direct forced air type ventilation, which is usually what those cones you would see sitting on the deck, which would force air in, and there was usually ones that were forcing air out. So it was air exchange for the ship.
It was they basically used a bunker system is what they did.
Exactly. Thank you. I was explaining that for our viewers in case they didn't know. I mean, I can only do so much with the stream. I don't have a lot of tools to work with here.
Okay. Let me break down a bunker system real quick. Or if you want to do that, Chris, you can.
Go right ahead, Wolf.
Okay. Now, mainly a bunker system, as people call it, is you would have one mainline shaft pushing air down from like a opening in the ground, or like a vent, as people who have seen like Hunting Hitler, that show clearly shows it a lot.
Hey, Mighty, welcome, buddy.
Hey, Mighty. So you would have air coming through one end of it, and then you would kind of have like a cross section with it, or a exit wound, I guess you can say, which would take air up, which would take the bad air up and out of the bunker, which would constantly keep air flowing in.
Yeah. That's it. A lot of
Simplest way to
the
say it.
well, basically, think of it this way: the ship starts to move. Those centrifugal funnels that sit on the deck and above would catch a lot of the air. It was a movement forced air system. It would force air into the ventilation system, and then what that also did from the other direction, it would force the air out. So basically, it was a way of capturing wind and using the wind to push the ventilation system, which was something that was a pre-electrical. Even the Titanic still had to use that type of system due to the fact that yes, it did have electricity, but
it still has shitty electricity.
apparently, I found a half-size D printer at Dick's Sporting Goods.
What the fuck? Give me the location of that, Alex, please.
Damn. So what else you got, Gan? Come on, throw some nuggets out there. Oh, Jesus. Give him the D?
Really, Ghost? Really? You had to take it that low? God damn you.
Give it a... Go ahead, Gan.
Sorry. Another weird fact, I don't know if people actually know this, but during the voyage, because there was a coal fire on board, the ship actually, they tried to remove the coal so it wouldn't spread. So they moved it to the port side compartments. I'm trying to remember what watertight compartment it was in. I think it was one of the first.
It was in watertight compartment 4 or 6. It was either in 4 or 6 is where it's at. Figured I'd help you out on that one.
Yeah, thank you. So they moved the coal over, and it actually caused the ship to have a 3-degree list. And then when it hit the iceberg, the reason why it didn't start listing till quite a bit further into the sinking is because that coal was balancing out the weight, so it wouldn't turn. And because they shut the watertight doors, it didn't just all come in and capsize. It had to go one over the other, so it went down fairly level throughout the entire sinking.
Yes.
That is true.
What did X-Flex put?
Ghost, did you have a printer too? Ha ha ha. Dr. Ghost put in there. Funny thing too is the watch officer forgot to give the key to the binoculars cabinet to the next watch officer.
Oh yeah, David Blair.
Actually, I'm gonna stop you. Okay.
That is true.
Sorry, Gan. But I am going to stop you right there on that one, Ghost. That is not entirely true, because the person that was, and mind you, I have done my research into this one. The fact behind that one is, whenever the guy that was initially supposed to be in charge of them got removed from the listing or from the crew list, he forgot to give the key back, and they were already underway. I did my research into that one.
That was like a last-minute switch.
Mighty, what the Draw me like one of your French girls. What the
Mighty, Azuma is not in this chat right now, so I would highly suggest removing that comment.
Yeah. Oh my god. And Dick's Sporting Goods store also has half size when I got there. Titanic movie with Jack and the other... Jesus Christ.
Jack and Rose?
I'll never let go. Okay.
Then immediately let's go.
Jack?
Well,
Sorry.
dude, he was. To be fair, in the movie, he was already dead by the time she finally realized it. He was already dead.
He was a Jaxicle. Have you never seen the cinematic masterpiece of Titanic by James Cameron? Yes, I've actually seen. I was able to maybe suffer through that movie maybe twice. Spoiler alert.
Okay.
Titanic. No kidding.
Okay, Chris, I'll be right back.
I'll be
Okay,
right here.
I'll be right back.
So, yeah. What else you got, Can? Oh, Can.
Sorry. I thought my mic was unmuted, but it was muted.
Well.
Oh.
Go for it. Throw some more knowledge out to the crowd.
I don't know. I'm sorry. Like, you know when you get like put on the spotlight and you just like your mind goes like, I'm sorry. That's like happening to me right now.
That's
I
okay.
literally did a presentation on this earlier today at school.
I just love saying Dick Jones. Oh my god. Oh my
Okay,
god.
I'm back.
We just went from Titanic to RoboCop. Dick Jones.
Why the
It
fuck
was
are we
Dick
in
Jones.
RoboCop?
Oh god. Oh, sorry, Gam. Go ahead.
Shenanigans.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is shenanigans.
that's what we're known for. You're the one who signed up for it the minute you freaking put in for the SCS.
Okay, excuse me. All right, back again. What you got, buddy?
Well, another thing I do know. Oh, okay. This model isn't entirely. And my room's starting again. 1 second.
Okay, hold on 1 second, Yan. Exaflex, you'd be surprised the conversations that I can actually have. And B, go suck it. We will talk about what we want. Okay, sorry, Yan.
Mm-hmm. And also
My
to add
turn
in,
left.
also to add in with the to add in what you're talking about. Actually, his son Arthur MacArthur actually changed his last name, and he lived under an assumed name again. Because he wanted to part himself.
Go keep your fucking clan member under control.
All right. Time out. All right. So.
But trust me, Exaflex, I understand. I go to middle school.
Okay. So anyway,
Moving on.
what I was going to say was that Arthur MacArthur, Douglas MacArthur's son, actually lives under an assumed name because he did not want the pressure of having to be known as Douglas MacArthur's son. No, Ghost, you did not do that. That was me.
Oh, you timed him out? Are you serious?
That came from the head of the channel. Don't worry, Ghost, you are perfectly absolved from that one. Mighty, he'll probably get into one of his 45 million friggin' alternate accounts, and he'll be right back in here. Just stand by. He'll pop back in.
It goes, now's your time to shine. Use the freaking manager mod position.
Detonated. He got detonated.
Yep. No, okay.
Everything in the
Two
Star
people.
right.
Okay, let's not go detonated because technically that can be used as blocked.
45 trillion. So we'll get back on track. All right. Before the shenanigans that was what just happened. Please, Gan, the floor is yours. Back to you, my friend.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
You guys
No,
proceed
I want
with
you.
your shenanigan.
No, we said
Where's yours?
we're going down the road of the Titanic. Well, actually, it'd be more like the sinking of the Titanic.
With the Titanic. We're going down with the Titanic. Let's say that.
That's what the stream is definitely doing. It's going down with the Titanic.
Maybe even faster.
Hey,
Do I
Chris,
hear
can you
more
communicate in the chat currently?
Actually,
Really?
sorry, I'm pretty sure you guys would know this. But it cost more to make the movie Titanic than it did to build the actual Titanic.
Yeah, that's accurate because they had to go through and rebuild the goddamn Titanic.
Well, they only built what they built was only parts of it.
Parts of it that nearly cost half the goddamn ship.
And then they also built the ship that they would use for the sinking and everything else, and then they had to build the pool that it had to sit in. Oh God, Alex.
No comment, Alex.
So yeah, it did cost a lot. It was a very extremely expensive movie to make, but also made a friggin' a Titanic worth of money too. Oh, that's actually cool. One of my ancestors supplied the rivets for the Titanic.
God damn, who was that, Mighty?
That's
Or
so
in the
cool.
code. Oh, that's actually a cool thing. You know.
How the hell? Oh my god. You do realize that's a lifetime business, right, Mighty? God damn. I own the movie and watch it on a weekly basis.
Not for nothing. I like the historical value and stuff like that. I only watched the movie twice. I can only sit there and throw up enough watching those two and hearing "I'm the King of the World" and watching. No, I can only handle that so long.
Yeah, I don't like romance. That really brought the movie down for me. I've never liked.
Yeah, romance is never. It all depends on the person who actually likes romance and stuff.
No, hey, no, I'm not going to sit there and hit on anybody who liked the movie. I mean, obviously, a lot of people did like the movie.
I like the movie. It's just too much of the romance. Too much. I like the second half the best.
Well, yeah, when the ship sank.
Yeah,
No.
obviously.
Gene, I thought the whole entire time he was like, I just thought when Jack was plowing what's her face all the time. But we had a ship sinking and sex all intermingled. So I mean, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Okay. Mighty, that all depends, to be honest. That all depends.
Oh, actually, to go on that, to do a little expansion, because there was a lot of other things that happened outside after the sinking. I mean, a lot of people did go after. They went after White Star. They went after they went after Rockefeller. They went after it was Rockefeller, correct? Or
yes,
it was J.P. Morgan that owned White Star.
Yeah, there were quite a few of the big names in industry were taken down with Titanic.
It was J.P. Morgan.
Yes.
Okay, so J.P. Morgan, and they sued him. They sued White Star. They sued Holland and Wolf. They everything else, but really nothing ever really came.
No.
We've got a peeker in chat, boys.
I believe it's Exoplex.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah.
Because I can read the chat from here on Restream, but I can't do much else besides that.
But see, a lot of there was actually there was a lot of lawsuits that came up after. But you have to think that even with all of that, and then the congressional hearings in the United States and the hearings in
Okay. Hold that thought for a second, Chris. No offense to interrupt you, but I want to call back to what Exaflux said right here. If you scroll down and look, I want to call back to what he said. Titanic never sunk in my theory, so that the company who built it could collect the insurance on the old ship Carpathia.
I thought Carpathia was Cunard. And
Wrong company.
Titanic's White Star.
Wrong company.
Oh, it was
Titanic.
Carpathia, not Cunard.
Titanic definitely sunk because more people saw. I mean, it's one of those few. The reason what makes Titanic a very compelling story is the fact that a lot of people saw it go down, and it was a slow motion. It was a slow motion disaster.
Not only that, but we have but I believe somewhere in naval documents. Yeah, again, but we have actual video footage somewhere in the naval documents that show the goddamn ship on the ocean floor because of Robert Ballard.
Yeah, all you gotta do is look. All you gotta do is look at the I believe it was 1984 expedition that showed
Yeah.
the ship on. It showed the ship on there. And actually, from someone who lives in Massachusetts, which is I live about 35 minutes away from Woods Hole. It was a big deal when James Cameron found it around. It's the Woods Holes Institute. See, we could throw that into the bin of conspiracy theories, like we never landed on the moon and space aliens killed JFK and...
Have fun, Ghost.
All right, Ghost, thanks for stopping by. If you want to pop back in and see the shenanigans.
I guess.
Why the fuck are we calling people by their real names?
You can if you
The only
want.
person who gets away with that right now is Chris. Because, well, that's your YouTube channel, sorry.
I don't care if you guys call me by my real name.
I'm kidding.
I don't know your real name, Dan.
It's just Gannon. That's it.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's just Gannon.
Gannon the man.
Oh.
You are correct, Miney. It's basically what it does. It eats the iron inside of it. So they're already predicting within the next 20 to 30 years that enough of the steel will have had which have been eaten by these the rusticles.
Not a name we mention in here, Ghost. No offense.
Peak. Yeah.
He's pissed off a lot of people lately.
Mm-hmm. So, with that being said, they're saying in the next 20, 30 years that enough of the minerals and iron and stuff like inside the steel will have been taken out by these organisms that the ship is basically going to collapse in on itself. And yes, it's definitely funny, Ghost.
I'm not denying that's funny. It's just right now, Peak is not a name to be being brought up in any chat at the moment.
Yeah.
That's always consistent with this group.
We're gonna kind of leave the Pedum leak thing out of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just no. Even his most recent videos are starting to piss me off.
Well, I
But
want to go back to something else I was talking about. See, when you have to understand, a lot of people did get sued by others over the Titanic sinking. But on the other side of it, even after the congressional hearing and after inquiries in England, they found the deficiencies and stuff like that. But
What the fuck are you talking about, Exaflex? What the fuck are you talking about? Can I time him out?
Right.
No shit, that means I'm gonna have to read this. Just go freaking time him out. God damn it.
Anyway, so really, you have to think about it. Even though White Star took a financial hit because of the Titanic, they actually were protected. There was actually a little bit of protection brought in by the British government that really kept them.
Okay, both you guys. I know you guys are joking. I'm joking right back. I wouldn't time him out. I have no reason to time him out. Unless he starts freaking pissing off the entire chat.
I'll take care of it if it goes downhill. So let's not. Okay,
Moving on.
Let's not pick on Exaflex. I'll just keep an eye on it, and then it'll be all me.
Never mind, Exaflex.
Question mark, yeah.
Hey, guess what, Mighty? He ain't on my channel. I believe you dropped that sub a while ago. Or removed that subscription a while ago.
Alright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if we can change a little bit of gears here. We're going to go to something a little bit different. We're going to move ahead to something else. And something that has a lot of interesting facts and nuggets to talk about. How about I'm going to actually do this. So a lot of people have a lot to talk about.
Exaflex, just shut up. Just shut up.
All right. Back to dick jokes. Yeah, I think we need to go back to the dick jokes.
Yeah, I agree, Alex.
So here's the thing. I think we're going to go back. How about I want to bring this subject up. Pearl Harbor.
What subject? Ooh.
There's a lot of stuff to talk about. There's a lot of things, a lot of stuff pre and post that goes along with this stuff. So there's a lot of subject we cover here, and this covers the conspiracy theories. We can cover politics in this one, and see, Alex. I'm not going to say whether it's big or small. All I know is that A, it works, and B, I don't care if it goes all the way in. I just bang the crap out of the sides.
The fuck are you talking about here, Ghost? You're nearly triple the size of the channel I am currently.
I'm very confused right now.
Don't be.
We're talking shit at this point, yeah.
We're watching the chat too, so.
And Ghost, you're harder than Jankonomics right now. So I wouldn't be freaking saying too much at the moment.
Right. Okay.
Moving on.
So you're all peasants.
I'm only like 5'9".
You too, Mighty.
I don't think anybody else does either.
Go, never mind.
I'm 6 feet and I don't care.
I come in at 5'10".
1/100th of what? Oh. All right.
God damn.
Dr. Ghost is a big
Ghost,
boy.
you don't look like it. You do not look like it. I'll give you the 6'2", but the 260 pounds, I don't think so.
Hey, Ghost, I'll fight you.
I'm the shortest one here. By far.
I'll fight you.
How are you, Dan?
I'm 5'9".
So I'm just barely taller than you. Wow.
Yeah.
So who in here's got hand-to-hand combat training?
This guy. My hand raised.
The most combat training I've ever done was doing sword fights in the backyard with our neighbors. It's about it.
I do not believe that, Ghost. I don't believe that.
Gravity-driven ghost. I know the feeling.
Yet you're a city boy, Ghost. Wow.
Farmer bod. All right.
Moving on, back to Pearl Harbor.
Okay. Yes, it got bombed. You lost. No, I'm kidding. So let's look at it. I think a good pretext a lot of people don't understand with Pearl Harbor is actually how did it come about. A lot of people would sit there and talk about the fact that, oh, we weren't ready, and they did this, and we lost
Was
it.
it like oil or something had to do with it?
There was a lot. That's part of it. There's actually I think some of the best books that were written about Pearl Harbor were actually written. I got to think of the name. He did some of the books. Give me a second. I'm going to look this up because I just had a brain cramp, and it happens. Let's see. Give me a second. I'm going to find one of the books I have in here. So I actually have the whole collection. It's really good.
What collection is it?
Once I tell you the name of the author, you'll know the collection.
Oh, probably will. I'm a fucking book freak, so me and my book freaks. And yes.
Gordon Frank. I did say brain fart.
I don't know.
I had a brain fart. Okay. What the fuck? Yeah.
No. Hence why I don't laugh in any of my freaking videos, Ghost. Fucking hell. Oh, yeah. Hey, Chris.
Yo.
Did I ever tell you that I figured out my phone issue?
Oh, you did. Cool. Dino Nuggets.
No, okay.
All right. So
Wow,
I got the name of the author. His name is Gordon Prang. The great collection of books that he did was At Dawn We Slept, December 7th, 1941. Pearl Harbor itself. He did Pearl Harbor. No, I can't remember the rest of it. And he also did another one called Miracle at Midway, which was actually fantastic.
I've read that one.
Yeah, but it's part of that whole
I've read
series.
Miracle Midway.
At Dawn We Slept actually went into a lot of... You're tired, Alex? Oh, God, we want... Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, me and you are the same age, Alex.
But At Dawn We Slept was a great book that actually goes into a lot of the background leading up to Pearl Harbor itself. Who in here's got a level head? Nobody.
Me? Somewhat.
Liar. Okay.
Somewhat.
We could all say yes, but then we'd all be liars.
Oh, God. I'm going to go back and read the cheesecake thing. Okay, hold on. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. All right.
Exaflex, until someone pisses me off or gets me irritated, which doesn't happen very often unless you're in chat, oddly, I have a very, very level head.
You're just a passerby. Okay, Mighty. Don't worry. No one ever said you had I never said you had responsibilities in here. But going back to that particular book, if you're looking into the background of what happened at Pearl Harbor, it basically is
Exaflex, I believe I probably made a killing out of being a comedian. Okay, well, I do have to end my part in this mighty stream. Thank you guys for having me, and I will talk to you later. Exaflex, still suck it, and with that being said, love y'all, and I will see you next time. Peace out.
Peace.
Bye.
Alrighty then. And then there was two. So what I was saying before was that if you take a look at a lot of the action, counteraction leading up to the decision for Japan to actually go ahead and attack the U.S. Pacific Fleet, a lot of it was political, economic, and there's also a certain there's also a certain thing of Japanese they weren't very happy with it. There was also a matter of prejudice involved on both sides, so it makes it's very convoluted. So it was just basically what ended up happening is that you're looking at a peacetime military in the United States that was underfunded, that was ever so slowly starting to wake up to the possible potential of the possible potential of the Japanese in the Pacific. So we were actually looking more towards alrighty then. What are you just spying, chat? Wolf, really? I mean, Exaflex, really? Come on. There's a lot of stupid shit that comes out in chat, but that one is probably one that really you kind of need to not go there.
because that's almost like borderline offensive. Oh, the dick jokes are just fine. But the Freddie Mercury thing was kind of like, no. Welcome, Edward. Okay, this is going to be the final word on this, and I'm not. This is not going to. This will automatically bring up. Yeah, that too. And I'm going to put this flat out. We're not going to have any more arguments in here whatsoever. The back and forth and garbage is not. It's not what is needed in here. So Extra Flex, if you've got a private beef with Wolf and Wolf's got a private beef with you, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to tell him later on too. This does not show up on my channel again. Because I'm going to put this out there. If it shows up on my channel, Ghost, listen to this. And I'm going to tell Queen too. If it shows up on here again, and I don't care if it's either one, the Bam Hammer comes out. The Bam Hammer comes out. Or Ghost or Queen. It ain't gonna happen. Yeah, go to Peace Channel. All right. Yeah, have fun over there doing that. We're not gonna have that here. Because this is supposed to be the chill zone, you know what I mean? But he ain't wrong. He ain't wrong. All right, going back to the topic at hand. Good idea again. I wouldn't get involved in this. You're already banned there. All right. Anyway, moving on. All right. Look, this is one of those. We're talking about Pearl Harbor and a lot of the stuff leading and some of the events that led up to the actual attack. All right, moving on. All right. Spartan then. Oh. So, in the year and a half leading up to Pearl, we saw a lot of. Obviously, we had the Japanese involved in attacking China, and okay, before Ghost says it, China. Okay, so there you go. And their ongoing war on the Asian mainland. And as the colonial powers were getting involved more and more in what was going on in Europe, the British, the Dutch, the French, the Japanese started moving slowly towards the territories in which they possessed, especially French Indochina. I just figured I'd do a preemptive China strike on that. Yeah, exactly. Preemptive China strike. So we had a lot of that. We had that happen. And what they did is they went into a loose agreement with the French Vichy government to administer French territory in French Indochina. Yeah, I kind of figured you'd do that. And with them moving towards the Malay Peninsula and such like that, that 6-month time period prompted the United States to do different things. So with Rosenthal, who was Roosevelt's one of Roosevelt's cabinet members, is also in charge of the Treasury, actually preempted the president in such a way and actually put a full embargo on the Japanese Empire. So in this particular time, we already the planning already started happening for Pearl Harbor, but there was a lot of different layers in the train. They were continuously training and everything for the potential of attacking the U.S. Pacific Fleet in Hawaii. There was also designs for taking the Philippines, because the Philippines actually blocked the Japanese from moving south to go to the Dutch East Indies for oil, tin, rubber, and a lot of the things that they need to sustain their empire, which is kind of what they wanted to do. So the two biggest things was the Philippines and the U.S. Pacific Fleet. Am I married? Yes, I am. Be 23 years this September. Yeah, they received over 90% of their raw materials from the United States. It was imported from the U.S. We're talking oil, tin, rubber, everything else. Yep. September 30th. Be my 23-year anniversary. September's a good month, but August is a little bit better. So the Japanese were very dependent on that, and that hammer was brought down to try for the U.S. to force upon Japan to stop fighting in China, and to stop the further advance in the Malay Peninsula and French Indochina area. All right, Ken, we'll be here. So with that being said, that accelerated the plans for the attack on Pearl Harbor. At the same time, because the Emperor of Japan, Emperor Hirohito, actually wanted to do things properly. They wanted to make sure if this was going to happen, it was going to be a declaration of war prior to the actual attack happening. And he gave another chance with the blessing of Tojo to actually try to negotiate more with the United States to try to get us to lift the embargo, and so they can save face. So that's where Sabaru and Kurusu, the two Japanese, the Japanese envoy and the ambassador to the United States, if I remember, Kurusu was also the one who worked on the tripartite pact signed in Germany, between Germany, Italy, and Japan. So we have the diplomatic channel being worked to try to stem the potential war, which the Japanese were already planning for. Now, the United States also broke the JN-21 code, so we were reading Japan's diplomatic code, diplomatic messages. So we had an idea that there was something going on. We just really didn't know what or where. Fast forward several months, we get into November. More signals are coming through saying that there's the potential of something happening in the Pacific. The talks were not going very well. And then they had that drop dead time several weeks before, where they hit the point where the Japanese fleet actually had to sail. Now, there was a code called Climb Mount Tanaka that if that code was sent, that then the attack was going to go on. Meanwhile, the War Department, the Navy Department, and such were were passing the intelligence to different places. They were trying to figure out what was going on. And they sent multiple warnings to the different commands in the Caribbean, the Canal Zone, West Coast Defense, Hawaii, and the Philippines. But here's the thing. We were slowly, ever so slowly, starting to build up our material, the materials of war that we needed, because we were already starting to do a lot of Lend-Lease with the British. First it was cash and carry, then Lend-Lease. But a lot of that stuff was not making its way into the Pacific, especially to Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor was considered by the U.S. military to be one of the strongest bases that the U.S. possessed. But a lot of the intelligence that was actually being collected in Washington really wasn't being passed on to the commanders in Hawaii. So, again, they kind of had an idea that things were going on. Which would lead us all the way up to December 7th. Again, there were still signs that something was going to happen. Obviously, the USS, the Ward, attacking the mini sub in the restricted zone outside of the Pearl Harbor entrance, and then later on, the radar contact from Opana Point, tracking the Japanese aircraft coming in off their carriers. And even then, you're talking about a group that was still in a peacetime frame of mind. They were still going through the peacetime duties. They really weren't. We were not ready. On the political front, we also have to look at the fact the Japanese fucked up. And they did fuck up pretty badly, because the instructions... Oh, I'm sorry. I could throw a couple of dick jokes in there? Maybe you won't fall asleep?
I have returned.
Welcome back, Ann. All right. In the meantime, like I said, the Japanese also had a little bit of a problem. When they sent their yeah, I know the feeling. Roger that, buddy. Well, maybe if you listen a little longer, I can put you to sleep, and then you don't have to worry about it. No offense taken. The Japanese, when they sent their message in multiple parts, they didn't even send it in order and such, but they sent instructions to the embassy in Washington that when they were decoding this message, that they could not use the secretarial pool. It had to be done by very specific people. And when they finally got the messages, decoded them, and then had to type it, and put it couch it into diplomatic language, it took several drafts. And the funny thing is, we got the messages at Station Brainbridge, Jesus, and we were decoding it and reading it faster than the Japanese were. But it really didn't specifically say, other than the time reference for 1 p.m. Washington time, which they had an appointment with Secretary of State Cordell Hull to present, to try one more time and then present these documents, this 16-part message, which basically was the Japanese declaration of war. And it was supposed to have that in the hands of the U.S. government at least 30 minutes prior to the attack of Pearl Harbor. history bears out that they didn't get that message into Cordell Hull's hand until after 2:00. So the attack already happened. Thus, it became an infamous attack on U.S. forces. It was a very basic preview of what happened with Pearl Harbor.
I'm sorry, I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
So wait, with the declaration of war, do you just like announce it, or do you have to like fill out documents and send it to the enemy country?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, each country, as long as you're doing it within such a, I mean, let's put it this way: under the rules, so to speak, that you want to present the offending country, if you're going to go to war, you hand them a declaration. You send them the declaration of war. Of course, you announce it too. The declaration, yes. In the case of our declaration of war, it was a pretty mighty big one. So, but that message that the Japanese sent, that 16-part message, was supposed to be technically their declaration. And it never, and because of delays of getting that translated, getting it decoded, translated, and typed, and that's what she actually caused that document to get into the hands of the U.S. government after the attack has already started. That's why it's considered the day that lives in infamy and what have you, because the United States then followed suit the next day on December 8th, where Roosevelt stood before Congress and asked for a declaration of war, which he did not receive unanimously. There was actually one person who voted against it. But they knew that was going to happen anyway, so it was nearly a unanimous thing.
Wait, so if say if one country declares war on another, but the one who they declared war on doesn't want to fight, like, do they have to go to war, or is there like something they can do to stop that declaration?
Yeah, it's called they have to fight back. If a country is going to go to war with you, regardless if it's a declared war or not, the only way you're going to stop it is either diplomatically, someone has to step in and stop the other opposing country, or you got to stop them yourself. I mean, it's just the way it is. I mean, I don't know what the hell to say. I mean, well, yeah, I mean, in the short term, it was actually a Japanese success, because it did allow the Japanese almost 6 months of almost unhindered expansion in the Pacific, because the U.S. forces were ground down to only 3 or 4 aircraft carriers. The main battle line of the United States Navy was at the either sunk or damaged. Now, of all the ships, of the 8 battleships that were in the harbor at the time of the attack, 6 of them were repaired and sent back out for service in World War II. Oh, Midway was a whole different can of worms, and people don't understand what type of the type of odds that the U.S. actually was under there. Yes, we were reading their JN-25 code, which is we weren't reading it, but we cracked it, and we were getting information from the Naval Code, the Japanese Naval Code. Just in the vicinity of Pearl Harbor, of Midway, the Japanese committed over 100 ships to the operation. In the Midway area itself, it was a 2 to 3 to 1 superiority in ships over the United States. Understand this. To give you a general idea, I want to see if anybody knows that. You can answer this if you want to, again. If anybody in chat, how many ships did the U.S. actually deploy at Midway? Anyone?
I don't know. 56. I'm just guessing.
Nope, not even close.
Bigger, high, bigger, lower.
Lower.
Oh, 34.
Lower.
22.
It was 22.
But we only had 22 ships.
22 warships. That's not counting the that's not counting the 18 submarines we had deployed. But in combat-worthy surface vessels, the United States only deployed 22 ships. So that's the 3 aircraft carriers, the Yorktown, the Enterprise, and the Hornet, and their escorts, their cruisers and destroyers. Versus Nagumo's first air fleet, which was 2 to 1, and outweighed the United States in every department. And they had at least 1 to 2 battleships in that air group part of defense, with heavy cruisers, light cruisers, destroyers, everything else. And that's not even counting the main force, which was 200 to 300 miles behind that, and that included the Yamato. I mean, if you really look into the Battle of Midway, we got lucky. We got very, very lucky. If all it takes is just another wrong turn, something missed, a destroyer that was, a torpedo attack on a ship that didn't happen by a U.S. submarine, which pulled the destroyer to go after this destroyer, go after a submarine, where McCluskey actually found that destroyer and followed it back to the fleet, where you actually had the air squadrons from the Yorktown and the Enterprise go in and sink 3 of the 4 aircraft carriers within a span of 12 minutes. She was finished in 19. Yeah, because you see earlier that prior to Coral Sea, Yamamoto shifted his flag from Nagato to Yamato as the flagship of the combined fleet. So yes, and in his force, the main body, he had six battleships, cruisers, destroyers, and a small aircraft carrier, which, by the way, was Hosho.
Wait, what was Hosho?
The Hosho. That was a small aircraft carrier that actually was part of Yamamoto's main body, which was about 300 miles behind the First Air Fleet.
Isn't that ship in the game? Osho?
Yes, she is. And we're not even counting the surface ship. We're not even counting the surface ships that were part of Kurita's force. We weren't even counting the other surface vessels that the Japanese had in the area, and we're not counting about the Northern Guard force either, which could have been brought down. And think of it this way: if the Japanese had enough brass, they could have brought down their Aleutian force, which would have infused 3 more aircraft carriers into the First Air Fleet. So there was a lot going on there. And the fact is, to also remember this too, unlike Pearl Harbor, where they really effectively knocked out the air bases all over Oahu, they did not knock out Midway's air station. Not one plane got caught on the ground. They also didn't take out Midway's scouting ability either. And waiting for the Japanese, had they invaded, would have been 5,000 United States Marines.
We had that many people stationed on the island.
Mm-hmm. Eastern Island and Sand Island. There was a tremendous amount of. See, when we found out that Midway was the target, Nimitz sent anything he could find and sent it there. He sent aircraft, he sent Marines, he sent artillery, he sent trucks, gasoline, ammunition, whatever he can get his hands on, he scraped it up and sent it. He stripped Pearl Harbor to send stuff. Well, that's true. There's so much. I mean, I would one of the books I would recommend if you want to go read that is another book by Gordon Prang. It's called The Miracle at Midway. It was it is a fantastic book. If you really want to get a good amount of information about the Battle of Midway and get the great information from both sides, because one of the big research things that he did is they were able to pull from both sides of the conflict. So he got the perspective of the United States and the Japanese inside of this. It's a fantastic book. That'll go along with the whole Pearl Harbor collection also. At Dawn We Slept, December 7th, 1941, and Pearl Harbor, something of history. I can't remember the exact name of the book, but those books were fantastic books. I would say Gordon Prang was probably one of the leading authors and historians of the Pearl Harbor, Coral Sea, and Midway battles. It was fantastic, and I think some of his contacts he had in Japan, including some of the players like Fujita and Ginda, Nagumo's air operations officer. He had that type of information to draw on and others, so I would highly recommend it. Alrighty, now that we beat that horse into the ground, anybody got anything else they want to bring up? Anyone? Bueller?
Bismarck, maybe? I don't know.
Go ahead, fire it up. What do we want to talk about the Bismarck?
I don't know. It's just a suggestion.
Well, run with it, dude. That's the beauty of doing stuff like this. You can just run with it and bring up any questions or any information you may have.
What do you know about the Bismarck?
Well, I know in general terms some of the aspects of the battle, but as for the ship itself, I'm not super knowledgeable on it. Yep, that would be the Leyte Gulf battle, Battle of Leyte Gulf. More specifically, the Samar, San Bernardino, the Battle of San Bernardino Strait. I mean, most of the stuff I could also talk about with the Bismarck is mostly the aura that's around them, around that ship. As in for the... I don't want to call it hype. I'm going to call it what it is. Other than taking out the hood and being chased down by the Royal Navy, it got sunk. Now, I'll even throw this in here too, because there's also, I think there's like certain ships that have a lot of hype around them. Bismarck is definitely one of them. Don't get me wrong. Yamato is definitely one of them. And I'm going to throw this out there too. The Iowas have a lot of hype written around them too. So when people say they really didn't do anything, well, yeah, they're technically right. They never got into it with other contemporaries of their time. Yeah, also the cruisers Norfolk and Suffolk and Ark Royal and everything else. No one's saying that it wasn't a tough ship, because it really was a tough ship. But it doesn't match the hype that the fanboys throw out there. Because if you look at it and you actually put it up against contemporaries of its time that were not European, that ship would get wrecked. But on the American side, we have a tendency to hype the Iowas.
Do you think they're like overrated?
A little bit. Let's think about this. These ships were never, I would say that they were never fully tested against their peers. They never fired their guns in anger towards another battleship. So we really don't know. And a lot of people took it especially in the 80s when this whole idea that the Iowas were invincible. Oh, God, no. There was a lot of flaws inside the design of that ship, which could be very much exploited had they got into a contemporary battle with another battleship. Okay, were they at the time when we built them? Considering there was nothing else, were they the best? Were they the best ships battleships that the U.S. produced to date? Absolutely, they were. Were they better than some of our against our allies? Were they better ships than what our allies or our enemies possessed? Possibly. It's really tough to say. I mean, you can go with statistics and a lot of other things. Well, that's what part of what they were designed for is to run with the high-speed cruisers and carriers of the fleet. They turned more into that role, but they were still made and comprised to be part of the main battle line with the other fast battleships. They just happened to be built with a butt ton of AA on them too. So yes, they made them great AA platforms and great gunnery platforms. So the Iowas are not really considered in there because of their extreme length and their narrow beam to be very good, stable platforms. Now, the one thing that the Bismarck does have, and I'm going to throw this on, God forbid I say this, the Bismarck was a better gunnery platform than the Iowas.
Is it because it was wider or something? Like,
Because it was wider. Yes. Wider beam, stabler gun platform. And you got to remember, the Iowas, when they were built to do the things that they wanted to do, we were still restricted by what is called Panamax. Panamax is the maximum width of the Panama Canal.
So we have to keep our ships within that.
Right, we couldn't make them wider than the Panama Canal because then we couldn't use the Panama Canal to transit the ships from the Atlantic to the Pacific, and then vice versa. So when at the end of World War II, when you saw ships like the California, the West Virginia, the Tennessee, and a lot of other ships that went through their conversion and were refitted and made into these big old, big hipped ladies, they could never go back to the Atlantic unless they went towards Europe or down around South America because they were too big to transit the Panama Canal. So
Is there a
what
way
they,
we can widen the Panama Canal?
well, we don't own it anymore. The Panamanians own it. We gave it back to them in the 80s. Hey Haas, welcome buddy. What are you up to? Anything good? Welcome to the Chilling on the Couch Part 2. So we're going back to the Iowa. Okay, what did okay, if we're gonna go down this road and compare, let's compare. Absolutely, I kind of figured that, especially when you were, you're over lurking in Spartan's chat doing your normal stuff. So let's look at it from this point of view. The Bismarck, which at the time, we'll probably stick more with the Tirpitz, but because the Bismarck was already at the bottom of the ocean when the Iowa was launched in 1942. So we'll use the contemporary, which would be Tirpitz, the sister ship. So at the Iowa was launched. So we're talking tonnage. The Yamato class was the heavy hitters, punching in over 70,000 tons. 70,000 tons. Then you had the newly developed Iowa class, which was punching in between 52 to 60,000 tons in that range. And then you had Bismarck. the Bismarck class, which would be Bismarck if she was still alive, and the Tirpitz. Each ship Yo, Haas, I very much appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by. Make sure, oh, absolutely. Thank you very much. Make sure you hit that like button on the way out if you like the content you're getting. And it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Absolutely. Thanks, buddy. I will talk at you later, my dude. So, you know, going back and saying it's okay, let's look at the drawbacks, the good, the strengths and the weaknesses of the ships as we know them. All right, let's start with Tirpitz. Or the Bismarck class. How about we'll just stay within class. Okay, for a ship its size, it was pretty quick. They did 30 to 31 knots, which was impressive. Turtleback armor with an external armor belt of about 15 inches. With that turtleback on the interior to help prevent reinforces the armor within that 10-kilometer range. Decent suite of AA, but not great. Carried 2, 4, 6, 8 15-inch guns. It did have fire. It did have radar on board, with a targeting system, a targeting computer. It was very maneuverable for a ship of its size, and it was a pretty big. Those are very big ships, and such. Its drawbacks. Oh, and by the way, they made because of the shape of the ship, they were very stable platforms for its main battery of guns. Downside: it didn't have the range that you figured that a ship like that would supposed to have. So it was built like the same idea with the British. It was built for combat in North Atlantic and the Mediterranean, Black Sea, things like that. So short voyages, or shorter voyages. 2, it suffered from that same radar I said it had was garbage. It knocked the radar sets got knocked out when they fired the guns. So it really wasn't built up to snuff. And then you also limited by the 15. You remember when they put the 15-inch guns onto Gneisenau, Bismarck, and Tirpitz, they were actually looking at the British as their contemporary. They weren't looking at countries like the United States or Japan and what have you. So, and then they also had the another thing for the German sisters there is the fact that they were dealing with a Kriegsmarine that really didn't have the resources to support or sustain long missions with those ships. They also suffered from another problem, is the fact that their dry docks in which these ships can go into were very limited.
Didn't the Campbelltown knock out the dry dock that the Tirpitz could go in?
Yes, it did. So, yeah. Now, let's look at the Iowas. Iowas were built to go 32, 33 knots. Their targeting computers, their targeting computer on there was probably one of the best computers of its generation. And to back that up, it was so good that it was still in use when these ships were still commissioned in the 1990s. These analog computers were so good that they could target and hit. They could get in and target something the size of a tennis court and hit it. And this is something that wasn't aided by satellites and guided munitions and stuff like that. This was, World War II tech, and it was very, very good. Let's see what else you had. You also had the fact that you also had, in size for weapons, you had the 16-inch. You had the Mark 7s. Oh, actually, Mark 8. Sorry, Mark 8, 16-inch 50 caliber guns on there, which give you tremendous more range. Now, because you're using radar and stuff like that, you can actually be able to stand off. But they also had an internal armor belt compared to external armor belt. So you had just enough armor on the exterior of the ship to activate the cap on the AP, which by the time it gets through there and hits the actual armor belt, it has the potential of slowing down or stopping it. Unlike having the external belt, if it hit that and it has enough force to punch through, it now enters the vitals of the ship. You also have the fact that you also have the American Damage Control, AA. There's a lot of different stuff. Downside, again, was the Iowa's armor. Untested. A lot of the voids of the ship are external to the armor belt. So you have the potential of taking more damage on the shell of the ship than you would with a Tirpitz or a Bismarck. Also, its torpedo protection was also untested. It was a much different type of. It was a novel attempt that actually they saw flaws inside that particular defense mechanism, and they were working on fixing it in either the Kentucky or the Illinois and into the Montana class. So they already had the fix. They already had the fix for the flaw. 3, another one, it's very narrow. So that means it doesn't do well in heavy seas, or as well as it should. It's more of an unstable gun platform compared to its contemporary. There you go. Yes, it did have better cruising range. So it also benefited from the United States' ability for underway replenishing, so to speak. So who would win the battle? So if you pitched the Tirpitz and the Iowa, who would win that battle? What do you think, Yan?
Iowa.
Probably the Iowa, because the Iowa is going to be faster. It can stay further out, and use those big ass guns, and it can stay engaged longer because obviously it's not going to need to have to go back to port because it doesn't have the ability for fuel.
Yeah.
The Iowa would probably beat the Tirpitz. Matter of fact, I'd also say any of the South Dakotas could probably beat the Tirpitz too.
But what would actually beat the Tirpitz?
The South Dakota class battleships.
Huh?
Any of the Sodaks. The only difference is the Sodaks give up speed, but they can still stand off of the Bismarck or Tirpitz, and they're still firing American 16-inch super heavy, which at range could really dump a truck onto something like the Tirpitz.
So wait, when you were saying that it's like an unstable gun platform, do you mean like if the ship's like this, it'll like just bliss a lot or something?
Yes. So if you take a look at some of the if you look at some of the ships on World of Warships, okay. Okay, let's look at the Bismarck. It does this. And it's like equal points at either end of the ship at the bow and the stern, and then it comes out at its widest point and actually allows. Yeah. So if you're looking down from the bow to the stern, the narrower the ship, good job. Congratulations. The narrower the ship, the more it is more movement you're going to get like this, and it becomes more of an unstable platform. So with the Iowas, where that's why they kind of do this and then round off at the back, because they're making it a little more stable for the guns further behind turret 1. But it's because of how narrow the beam it actually has, it's not as stable as, say, like the Bismarck or the Yamato. It's made up by the fact that it has a targeting computer on board. Hey, Wolfie. So you're looking at something like that. So with I would say the Bismarck and the Tirpitz would be a much more stable firing platform, but it has to hit the target.
So in real life, his guns were very inaccurate too.
I'm not going to say that they were or they weren't. Obviously, they threw the golden BB and took the hood out. Hey, Azuma. Welcome to the chat, dude. Yeah, we actually shifted. We're actually talking about the difference between the Iowas and the Iowa class and the Bismarck class.
I got models right here, both ships. If you want me to,
Hey, welcome aboard, dude. Appreciate it. So what you're getting here? This is a segment of my channel that I like to do to be able to interact with my chat and other people, bring it on and actually talk about different subjects, be it history, ships, whatever. It's basically something like that. Normally we play a lot of games on board this channel and stuff, but I'm glad you're here, my friend. Welcome aboard. Definitely jump in. So we definitely there are some certain trade-offs between the two, but reality comes down to who can hit who. The further out you have the range was lessened on the Bismarck class compared to the Iowa class. So, all right, now that we've beaten that horse, anybody have anything else they want to throw in? Oh yeah, definitely. Legends, ATS, ETS2, Sea of Thieves, things of that nature.
Yeah, I might have to go soon. I have to work at the museum tomorrow.
All right, bro. Well, thanks for hopping in, and glad we got a little more Titanic talk in.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go now. Thank you for letting me join, and good luck with the rest of the stream.
Absolutely. Thanks, buddy.
Bye.
The Mackinac, cool, and that's always good. That's good stuff. But it's kind of like the premise behind this channel, behind some of the stuff that I do here. A little educational, but also you get to learn a little something. You can bring a little something to the table too. And it doesn't necessarily have to be on Warship. Hey, good night, Gan. Thanks for joining in tonight, buddy. Nevada. Well, let's look at some interesting things about the USS Nevada. She was one of the first super dreadnoughts built by the United States pre-World War I. I don't think he wanted it. Had a very interesting service. Had a very interesting long service. Obviously, things didn't really get interesting for her until December 7th, 1941, when she became the only battleship to actually get underway. And that was thanks to two different ensigns that were on board that actually had the wherewithal to light one of the boilers, an extra boiler, prior to the attack. Not that they knew about it, because they didn't. Which actually, by the time when they got to the lull in between the two waves, the Nevada actually, with that extra boiler online, actually had enough steam to get underway. Of course, she never really fully made it out of the harbor. She did get into the channel and was able to beach herself at Hospital Point, which was renamed Nevada Point. And an interesting side note, I actually had my great grandfather was killed on USS Nevada at Pearl Harbor. So there is that. She went on to have a very interesting career in World War II. She was one of the bombardment ships at D-Day. Yes, she did get this. Yeah, she tactically beached. She also suffered a butt ton of damage, because as soon as the Japanese saw her moving, they focused on her. And she was in no shape to get out there. Plus, if they did sink her in that channel, it was shallow enough that would have bottled the rest of the fleet. No worries. So Nevada actually had a service in the Pacific and the Atlantic. She was there with USS Texas at D-Day as part of the bombardment group. And she came back to the Pacific, where she served out the rest of the war. She was part of Operation Magic Carpet, where she brought sailors and soldiers home, and was also part of was later decommissioned and made part of the nuclear testing, or the atomic testing fleet at Bikini Atoll. Yes, she did. And they still didn't sink her. She ended up being sunk as a target. She ended up being sunk as a target ship. She took a beating. She didn't want to go. She was tough. She had a main armament of 10 14-inch guns in 4 turrets with 2 super firing. 3 lower turrets, turret 1 and turret 4 were 3 guns each. The super firing turrets 2 and 3 had 2 guns in them. And you can go play her on World of Warships Legends if you like. She's a tech tree. She's a tier 4 tech tree battleship if you like playing that game. So let's see how long we've been on and what time is it? Well, shit. Anyway. Yeah, she was. She was a toughin'. She didn't want to go down. She was noping all the way, going, nope, 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 you ain't getting me. Well, anyway, I kind of hit that. What's we got? Yep. She was tough. They made her tight and right. But she definitely was a very stubborn ship. She just refused. So, with that being said, thank you very much for hanging in here and chilling on the couch. Very much appreciate it. Again, it was like a very interesting conversation. Got steered in all different directions. That's kind of the part. That's kind of the real reason behind why I want to do these type of streams. Yes, she did, Wolfie. So these are the type of streams. If you do really like them, definitely hit the like button, and please put comments down below what subjects you'd want to go over, because this is the departure from just the gaming, from just going out and streaming the gaming and stuff like that. And I really very much enjoy interacting with all of you, because you guys are the heart of my little. Hey Adam, I'm glad you got slapped again tonight. I'm pretty sure you deserved it, my dude. You guys are like the heart and soul of the channel, so I really like having the chance to sit down and chat and talk with you guys. And part of the thing is, when having these type of conversations, being able to bring you guys in and having historical conversations with you, everything else. See, at least you admit it. That's where you are the first step to actually fixing a problem, is admitting that you have one. Oops, sorry about that, everyone. So definitely want to, I definitely want to see if this is something that's worth to continue doing. So I know I keep badgering you guys to do it. Put some comments down below in there, my friends, and let me know what you want to talk about, and if you like it. And if you don't, put them down there too. Wolfie would know about being an asshole. So, you can't help it. Understandable. But again, I very much appreciate you guys hanging out, and I want to thank Wolfie and Dan the Man for coming in and chatting. We talked about a whole different range of stuff tonight. It was pretty cool. I really do enjoy it. But listen, guys, please put that stuff down. Go down into the section below. Put some comments in there. I very much appreciate it. It will definitely help me plan something for the next time I go ahead and do this. Give me some subjects. Hey, be honest. That's all I'm asking for, because I'd like to make this something. If I can make this something a little more permanent, where we can actually go out and do this every once in a while, definitely want to. That's kind of where I want to go. So with that being said, what's over on that Twitch side, make sure you hit that follow button and hit that notification bell so you know when another edition of the Chill Zone is coming on. For my friends over on YouTube, make sure you hit, beat, smash, nuke, abuse, taunt that like button. Make sure that thing gets hit. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that button. Make sure you do so. Hit that notification bell so you know when the Chill Zone is going to be coming back on again. And I'm begging you, please put some comments in. I want to know what you guys think of this segment and what you'd like to see going forward with this. This thing is driven by you guys, so it's very important that you do that. And for my friends over on Facebook, thank you for tuning in and watching tonight. I very much appreciate it. And we will definitely get to talk to you guys later. So with that being said, everyone, let's do this and say peace.